Welcome to Hoyt's Bowhunting Whitetails. This is my new favorite stand because it's the only stand on the whole farm I've killed a deer out of. So it's going to stay my favorite until next year. This is going to be the last hunt on the farm for the 2022 season. We're sitting in that spot that we hunted several times out of the blind, and we felt like maybe we were just a little too far up the valley in that blind, that maybe we were out of the action, that a lot of the activity was down here, closer to the middle, to the lower end. So we're back in the scrape tree, is what we called the spot, because underneath this tree there were 4 scrapes during October, November. Unfortunately, it appears as if most of the food is gone from this plot, and along with the food, the deer are seemingly gone too. There's not very many tracks. We might be surprised. Maybe there's more up above, but coming in on that lower end, there weren't very many tracks. So we do know that we need more food on this farm, and this just reinforces it. If you're going to hunt the late season, you got to have food. The deer go wherever the food is. Find the food, find the deer. So we're going to hunt here tonight. And then I've got permission on a neighbor a ways away. In fact, it's right next to the farm that I hunted in 2020 and 2021 that I had leased. I killed 2 really nice bucks there, dandies. And I always looked across the fence at this place, and I know the guy that owns it. I used to hunt it when I was a kid, 35 years ago. The spot we're going to hunt tomorrow evening, I used to hunt. So we're going to go there and try to shoot a doe. We're going to go in more or less blind, hang the stand, and then just have some fun and see what comes out. Hopefully kill a couple of does for those guys. Sit back and get ready for the action. We're gonna see something here tonight. Hoyt's Bowhunting Whitetails is brought to you by Redneck Blinds, Day 6 Arrows, Code of Silence Apparel, Fuse Accessories, and Hoyt. We were going to hunt on one of the local properties. I talked about it yesterday, and we got there, and there is no deer sign on that place whatsoever. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Maybe there's a few tracks here and there, but no food. A lot of it had been chisel plowed. So we just decided to punt. It's more of a reflection of what this late season is all about. I mean, it is so hard to kill a deer with a bow during the late season if you don't have the place set up perfectly. So rather than go in there and just waste an evening, we're going to hook up and drive around and go into that blind that we've been hunting. So we're going to hunt our only 2 spots on the last 2 days of the season. We hunted the valley where the beans were, and maybe aren't any more left, and we're going up on the ridge where that corn plot was, and again, that may be gone too. But that's how we're going to finish out the season. We're going to try this other spot, and we'll kind of wrap up the whole episode and really talk about what has to be done in order to make the late season good for bow hunting, and really what these challenges are if you're trying to hunt spots that aren't set up just right. Hear a lot of joints cracking. We sure have seen a lot of birds today. I think just about every species that lives in northeast Iowa during the winter has been in front of our blind. So I think we're going to skip this whitetail deer hunting stuff, and we're going to start a bird watching series.
It's a good idea.
You can be the primary editor.
I'm in.
Oh yeah, like something that had really, really cool music in it. We're down to the last 40 minutes, 45 minutes maybe, of my bow season. Today was an interesting lesson, and maybe that's what this episode's really all about, is what it takes to be successful with a bow during the late season. It's so hard with a bow to hunt a big food source. So here we are this evening on this little bitty patch. It's just tore up. I mean, it's, who knows how many deer have been in here, probably, a dozen deer maybe every night for the past several days at close range of this blind. See, that starts to make sense because you're not hunting with a bow from what should be a gun stand. I'll cover that topic a little bit more in detail during the off season, but not bow hunting from a gun stand and what that really means. But that's kind of what we looked at today. So I think in general, the late season really isn't good for bow hunting. Gosh, it's a struggle. But if you have the right setup, the perfect setup like we have here, where we've got this little small plot that the deer are more concentrated, they're standing food here, they're going to come to this spot. Maybe you're not going to get a shooter every day. You may not see very many deer, but what you do see is going to be close enough for you to hunt with a bow. So I think that's really the takeaway. It doesn't do any good to hunt spots where you can see a big area and maybe see a lot of deer if you're hunting with a bow. You need these little focused, smaller areas. Late season with a bow, I hate to say the strong words that I want to say about how I feel about it, but it is really tough. I'm thinking back over the number of years that I hunted that farm in southern Iowa, and that was about best case scenario. I mean, we had a bunch of food there, a lot of deer, not very much hunting pressure around me to speak of. I'm sure I can count on one hand the number of bucks I ever killed with a bow during the late season. It was even tough under those conditions. Most people, they grab the gun, muzzleloader, or they get their ice fishing gear out, or they go chase pheasants, or they do something else. So if you're stuck on this late season bow hunting, it's got to be done right. And not everybody's in that situation where they can pull it off. But if you can, I believe it can be good. But boy, without the right conditions like this, I don't know that it's worth it. So that's been my season. We had to start somewhere. We started with a new farm with no experience here, not any kind of deer management in the past. It was a pastured property, been cattle on it, and trying to figure out how to hunt it, how to manage it. We were successful on some levels, so that was good, but it really sets the stage for next year, and I'm looking forward already to the changes that we're going to make. We want to take you along for that whole mission, and during the off season, I'm going to really focus on strategy tips, techniques, how to improve your hunting skills. And then I believe I'll start another series really focused on the land management part. Keep them separate. I don't want to have, the boning whitetails become about land management during the off season. I want to have that separate so we can keep boning whitetails really just about boning and not about, the land aspects of it, because not everybody owns land. But that's it. Ethan, what did you learn?
Learned a lot.
He didn't learn anything. He already knew it all.
Yeah.
No, we had a good season. It was fun. It was just kind of frustrating here towards the end. But that's it. So we'll see you. I'm probably going to take a little break. We're going to go to the ATA show. Maybe we'll produce an episode after we get back from there. But maybe we'll take a little break after the next episode. And then, come back into it with full enthusiasm. Sometime toward the end of January. So thanks for joining us today. We will see you right back here again next week for the next episode of Hoyt's Bowhunting Whitetails. And remember to always
Dream big.
big.